You're saying, Your Honor, you're saying this is a criminal matter?
Yes.
Okay, well then we need the corpus delicti. You have the identification of the person, which is me, but you don't have a person saying that they were hurt or damaged, or the crime that's saying what I did to hurt or damage the person. So how do you have a crime?
You went to law school?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
You're in a whole different ball game, and you need to come on to this ball game here.
Buckle up, folks. This courtroom showdown is one for the books. Today, you've got Judge Perkins, known for his no-nonsense approach, facing off against a defendant who seems to think the law just doesn't apply to him. And of course, he's pulling the classic sovereign citizen card, because why follow the rules when you can invent your own, right? Well, Judge Perkins isn't buying it for a second. Watch as he expertly shuts down this self-proclaimed legal expert, who probably got his law degree from YouTube. If you were in the judge's seat, how would you handle this? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's jump into this courtroom clash.
I'm going to give you a $0 bond. And I'll recall the warrant. What is your motion, sir?
I have a motion to strike and dismiss.
What are the bases?
Basis of federal rules of civil procedure. Number one, there's no claim. There's no ratification of the claim.
There is a claim. There is a. Do you want me to read out I waived the reading of the information. You want me to read the claims, the allegations that have been made into the record? Do you need me to do that?
No, I don't. No, I don't, Your Honor.
I deny your motion on that basis. What else do you have to say? What else?
You deny my motion because of what, Your Honor?
Yes.
There is no real.
I deny your motion because there is a and this is criminal procedure, not civil procedure. But I denied your motion because there is an allegation here.
You're saying, Your Honor, you're saying this is a criminal matter?
Yes.
Okay, well then we need the corpus delicti. And so that's what I'm asking for. If there was a criminal matter, basically what you're telling me is that something has happened, someone has either been damaged or someone has been or either someone has been damaged or someone has something has been come up missing. And if that's the case, then that means that there is a crime. And if there's a crime, then there is the what do you have that's saying that I did the crime? What you're saying that I created this crime that hurt this person, and if I hurt this person and I created the crime, then a third thing that you have to have is the identification of the person. You have the identification of the person, which is me, but you don't have a person saying that they were hurt or damaged, or the crime that's saying what I did to hurt or damage the person. So how do you have a crime?
Okay. You went to law school?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
And where did you get that? Where did you get that from? Where did you learn all that?
I've been studying for quite some time, trying to understand what's going on. I have a different perspective as to what's being said that happened. I'm understanding more necessary for a crime to go for them to bring a crime forward. I'm understanding that a bit more.
And where did you get that understanding?
I've done some Cornell law studies. I've also sat down with a couple of friends who have had some issues. I picked up wherever I could, just started to study the law, just started to go back through Cornell law, started to figure out what was going on and to understand the nature of how what a crime is and everything else. So just a course of me searching it out.
And you're citing Cornell law for all of that you just said to the court?
No, what I did, Your Honor, was I realized that one of the biggest portions that you have to have is you have to have the corpus delicti.
I've got to say, Judge Perkins' demeanor is absolute gold. The man is calm, collected, and completely unbothered. Like he's swatting away a pesky fly rather than dealing with a so-called sovereign citizen, making a total spectacle of himself. Meanwhile, the defendant is over there confidently quoting random laws from Cornell law, as if that's going to impress a judge with decades of experience. It's honestly hilarious. This whole thing feels like watching someone argue with a professional chef about how to cook a dish they've never even made. Pure secondhand embarrassment. But what's even more ridiculous is the confidence. This guy actually thinks he's outsmarting the system, standing there telling a seasoned judge that he knows the law better. Seriously, does he believe he's about to walk out of this victorious? The delusion is wild. What do you guys think? Is this just next-level arrogance, or is there something deeper going on with these sovereign citizens?
And that is in when you're being charged criminally.
What is a corpus delicti?
What do you mean? What is the corpus delicti?
What is your understanding of what corpus delicti is?
That is the corpus delicti is the law that's saying that there is a crime that's being committed. So in order to do that, you have to show the corpus delicti, which is you saying this is what happened. This is how this person was damaged. There is no
the
person.
Officer on these dates, because I got a lot of them, said that
I
you
object.
drove.
I object. The officer works. Okay, I apologize, Your Honor. I apologize, Your Honor. My apologies.
The officer says that you drove a vehicle that wasn't registered and wasn't titled, or titled and or untitled, that you drove without a valid driver's license, that you drove without valid insurance. Again, on a different occasion, they allege that you drove without a valid driver's license and no insurance. And then on a different occasion, they allege that you drove without unregistered or untitled or both, and drove without a valid driver's license, repeat offender, that you failed to have a trailer plate, and that you failed to secure a load on your vehicle. And on another occasion, on the same occasion that you failed to secure, that they allege you failed to secure the load, failed to have a trailer plate on your vehicle, that you didn't provide a valid driver's license. So those are the crimes. And in the state of Michigan, whether you agree or not, they are crimes. So based on your motion and all of that stuff you talk about, corpus delicti and things like that, the court denies the motion. Okay, based on those reasons I just said. Now, how do you want to move forward? Because wait a minute, I'm not finished.
My apologies, Your Honor.
How do you want to move forward? Because in my experience, someone that comes into court, as you do, you do not want to take an offer. You do not believe that you need to have plates or registration or insurance. And you just disregard all of that portion of the law, and either you are going to move forward by having a trial, or you're going to take a deal. What do you want to do, sir?
Your Honor, first I want to put my objection on the record. And at that point,
whatever your objection is noted. What do you want to do, sir? Do you want a trial? You have two options: trial, or you want to take a deal.
Your Honor, I request a jury trial.
A jury trial.
A jury trial, yes, Your Honor.
Very good.
This guy actually thinks he deserves a jury trial for traffic violations. Seriously. He really believes a room full of random people is going to sit there and say, yeah, running 3 stop signs and driving without a license, no big deal, let him go. Make it make sense. Jury trials are meant for serious cases, felonies, big lawsuits, not for sovereign citizens who refuse to follow basic traffic laws. He's turning this into a whole spectacle, probably thinking he's about to pull off some legal magic trick and walk free. Spoiler alert, that's not happening. Honestly, the sheer audacity of coming into court and acting like you know more than a judge, it's wild. I don't see this ending well for him at all. What do you guys think? Does he actually believe this will work, or is he just doubling down on the nonsense?
You know what I want to ask, Mr. Gray, and you can choose to answer it or not.
Yes, Your Honor.
But what I surmise and what I've heard, and I don't know if you're alleging the same thing, is that and you basically did allege the same thing, that no crime has been committed because no person has been, the people of the state of Michigan are in danger of you driving without the proper documentation or anything like that. But I don't, and I'm gonna surmise, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you're gonna say that there's no jurisdiction to be able to pull you over because no one has been injured. Is that correct?
I think that what I'm saying is that the city of Detroit had an officer pull me over to say that you're not following these rules. And my stance is, okay, well, then that's fine. If we're following rules, then therefore, let me make sure that you as well as are following the rules, because if I don't do that, then freedoms are lost. So that is in which that is the way that I proceed to say, okay, well then if we're playing cards and we playing show me yours, if this is your hand, then this is mine, and let's proceed accordingly to the law. That's it. That's my only standing is if someone doesn't stand up every once in a while and define the edges, then they all disintegrate and people lose rights.
And you know something? With that being said, I would agree with you 1,000%. Mm-hmm. That's why I pride myself, and I hope I'm doing a good job for the citizens that come in here and the police for that matter and the prosecution, that I am calling the balls and strikes right. And if something doesn't proceed as it should, then I will dismiss the case one way or the other. But in my short time on this bench and in my time at practicing law as a defense attorney, I get this, they can't pull me over. I've heard the corpus delicti, first time the civil procedure has been thrown at me. But from the way I see it, is that you just don't feel that the police have a jurisdiction to pull you over for these issues. Is that correct?
Do I have again, Your Honor, what I feel is that if we are following rules.
I hate to interrupt, but I have to jump in because what the judge just said was absolutely spot on. This guy really thinks the cop had no jurisdiction to pull him over, like public roads or some kind of lawless free-for-all. Newsflash, buddy, that's not how the real world works. I don't get why he's dodging the question. Everyone has to follow traffic laws, especially on public roads. It's just the common sense part for me. How do you seriously not grasp this? Instead of just admitting he messed up, he's out here making a complete fool of himself. If he just took responsibility, this whole thing would be so much less painful to watch sovereign citizens always act like they're above the law. But I have to ask, does anyone actually understand why they believe this stuff? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I'm honestly baffled.
I have to follow the rules, and every person out there, all of these officers, everybody else has to follow the rules. So if it comes down to it,
what I'm going to hope that you do by the time you come back on the trial date, jury trial date is going to be March the 18th, 2025.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're probably going to have an audience because everybody follows me on these cases all the time.
I understand.
All right, and I don't know if that's what you want, but we're gonna do that.
It's not that.
March the 18th, 2025. We're gonna have a final pre-trial date. Final pre-trial. This is to you, Mr. Bowman, especially the day before on February 17th, 2025 at 8:30. So Mr. Gray and Mr. Bowman, Mr. Bowman, I need you to have all your officers appear on that date. Who's ever going to state these allegations, so that we know that we're not just summoning the people of the city of Detroit to a jury that's not actually going to go. So all parties must appear, and that can be via Zoom. And the trial is going to be in person. All right. All parties must appear on final pre-trial date and obviously on the trial date. And what I would implore you to do is you need to figure out the right game, because it doesn't sound like you're playing the right game.
I understand, Your Honor. I appreciate, first and foremost, let me say, I appreciate the dialogue. I appreciate you sitting here and engaging with me at this level. So I recognize what you're saying, and so yeah, I guess it's to the table we go. So
yeah, but get your game in order, because I'm just giving
Yes,
you a
sir.
little heads up. If you come
Yes,
in
sir.
with that game on the jury trial date, then more than likely you'll lose, unless you can find one of those jurors or a couple of those jurors or even all of them to have some sympathy for you, sir. I don't know.
I got a whole basis for understanding, and so yeah, if you know
Well,
it
that
is what it
basis
is.
that you outlined shortly today is not. It's not.
What was flawed in my what was flawed, Your Honor? What is
We
flawed
already
in my?
discussed it. We already discussed it. The federal rules of civil procedure that you brought up as a motion to dismiss, not the right basis. The corpus delicti, they do have a corpus delicti. They do have a crime that they say has been committed. And if you read the MCL, the Michigan court rules, and the Michigan statutes, then you'll see those crimes outlined there. They have them on the tickets. They got the statute numbers that are on the tickets. So that's not the right basis. So you're in a whole different ball game, and you need to come on to this ball game here.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So what do you guys think is actually going to happen at this guy's jury trial in March 2025? Because let's be real, there's no way a jury is going to buy into this sovereign citizen nonsense. The laws he's quoting don't even apply to his case, and the whole "I don't have to follow traffic laws" argument, yeah, that's been debunked 1,000 times. If you're driving on public roads, you follow the laws. End of story. What gets me is how confidently wrong he is. He's acting like some kind of legal mastermind, but it's painfully obvious he hasn't done his research. Meanwhile, Judge Perkins deserves so much credit for staying calm while this guy rambles nonsense. If I were the judge, I'd be losing it honestly. This guy could have just taken the ticket and moved on, but nope, he's dragging himself into a jury trial where he'll probably face the maximum penalty. And let's not forget, his arguments are all over the place. A jury isn't going to waste time entertaining this mess. But regular people, do you really think they'll side with him over a cop who was just doing his job? If he doesn't get a lawyer and keeps this up, he won't last long in court. But hey, maybe he'll surprise us. I'm not holding my breath though. What do you guys think? Is he just playing dumb, or does he really believe this stuff? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe. I post new content daily, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching and take care.